In this video, I've designed this website, or I've started to design this website, and it's got JavaScript function in it. So when you click on these, this whatever's in this div changes. There's a couple of things I want to go over here. If you look at my code, basically, originally what I did was I wrote out, without JavaScript, I wrote out what I wanted here. And then I did all that in HTML in the section, let's see, it's right here is where it comes in at. Okay, so everything comes into section 1. I'm writing it to this ID. So originally I wrote everything out here. And then as I was developing, I would use the comment tags to comment it out so I could see which view I was looking at. But now I'm further down the road, and I took all that out and I deleted it to my notepad just so you could see, but this is originally what was all in there, and then I would just comment out the sections that I was trying to review visually. Okay, so now that's all done. So now what happens is I had to have something here so when the page loaded that this would stay full size. Otherwise, without any content in here, the way I've got it set up, this collapses, and I didn't want that. So this image collapses. I wanted it to stay like this. So what I did was I started out the page in HTML. So in section 1, it's got this, when the page loads, it loads up with section 1A in here. Okay? That's also good for my SEO because remember, your search engine optimization does not search anything in here. So anything in here, the Googlebot cannot search. It doesn't index it. So anything inside a script tag doesn't show up. That's the downside of JavaScript. But it worked out in this case so far because I was able to put it here in the HTML tag. And then what happens is when you click on this, it changes to this. There's a little bit of delay time there. And then when I click on this, it changes back to that. So let me go over how I did this, wired this up down here. Okay, so what I basically did was I wrote out two variables, and I took the HTML. I took all the HTML and put that in one variable for this slide right here. I took all that HTML that was in that section 1A, and if you look on my notepad, it's from here down to here. Okay, I put all that into one variable. Okay, so that's all stored there. And then the next section, the next slide, which is the video of the heart, I put all that HTML, I cut it out of there and pasted it all into a variable here. Okay, so now I've got my two variables. Then all I had to do was write a function that would write that HTML content, that variable's content to section 1, which is this section right here. Keep in mind these two break tags, when you write, they go away. It writes over that. So when I wrote my tag, did my variables, I had to go back in and include the break tags here. Otherwise, they did not come across. So anything that's in there will be overridden when this document writes to or gets element by and it enters the HTML slide 1. So what it will do is go to this first function. I've got thumbnail function 1, thumbnail 1 function. I misspelled that. See. Okay. This will play when that image is clicked. this function will play, which is this one right here. And when the second image is clicked, this function will play. Couple of hints: if you use numbers, it makes things real easy versus complex names. When I was pasting that in there, I could just copy and paste, and just all I had to do was change the number, which was helped me in time wise. And also down here, it was I could just copy and paste when I got ready to do my next function. I've got obviously have two more functions to write. One for this one and one for this one, and I don't know what I'm going to put there yet, but what I'll do is I'll go like this: Control C, then you can go Control V, and then Control V, and then this would be function 3. So it just works out nice if you do numbers. Numbers are good all around in development. I use them a lot, and it really doesn't matter because indexing, the Googlebot doesn't pick this up when they're indexing your website. Okay, so then now I've got this, and you've got to make sure you put those two little brackets in here. So Control C, then on here, this is going to go here, Control V, and that won't be function. That'll be function 3, and then this one will be function 4, Control V, or thumbnail 4. Okay. So I've got that pre-registered. I've just got to write the code for what I want in there. So now the next thing I'll have copy. Control V equals, and then also remember you have to take off, if you've got double quotes on your stuff, on your HTML code like I did here, you have to make it single quotes because everything in there has the double quotes go on the outside. And always remember to put your little thing at the end. B. Okay, so this is going to be 4 and this is going to be 3. And then this would be Control C, Control V, Alt File L. Okay, so now I just have to find two more things to put on there, and I don't know what I'm going to put yet, but when I do, I've already started my coding, and I can just pop it in there. Okay, just remember when you can write your HTML to a variable, which is a nice feature. If your HTML does not contain a lot of contextual text, if your HTML is an image or it's a video or something that doesn't get indexed by Googlebot anyway, it's cool because you're not hurting your SEO. It's okay to go ahead and assign it to a variable, but you want to be careful about putting all your contextual text inside a variable because you know you need that for your search engine optimization, and if you hide it inside a variable or inside a script tag, the Googlebot won't pick it up, the search engine won't pick it up, and so you basically that text that you work so hard to create to get your page recognized you don't get any points for it. Okay, so that's a little bit more on my JavaScript stuff for now. And this is expanding a little bit further. We're using getElementById, and what it does is it gets that element by section 1 and it writes in the variable, the content of the variable slide 1. And then here, this will get element by section 1, and it will write in the content of variable slide 2. And when you're writing the variables here, you don't have to put them in quotes, you just do it like that, and you don't have to put variable, you just do that. And you just make sure you know that you put the little comma or whatever that is at the end of it, and the curly brackets, and it's pretty straightforward. There's a mouse up plugin that does the same thing. I just did it this way because I wanted to try to see what the difference was. The mouse up, I think, is a little bit more better on your search engine optimization because what you're doing is you're hiding your images, and I might do a video on that later, but what you do is you put your images up there and then you hide them in your CSS, and then you call them when you're using your that might if you get a lot of text, that might be the way to go. Okay, but that's all I've got for now. I'm going to change this. This should be slide 3, and this should be slide 4.